This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Rosendal. But before that, this video is brought to you by Farm Alls Forever and Optimus. Thank you for being farm barons. The Rosendal map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you a brief bit of the description. Do you want to work in a unique shaped and steep fields? Drive up narrow twisty roads. Rosendal is a map based on real-life area where I live in West-Norway. The Norwegian terrain is very interesting and challenging. You have water on one side, mountains on the other, and small farms with grassland in the middle. This means you need powerful vehicles to work the land and small machines that fit the roads. Some parts of the map are less steep, almost flat, and more open, so you can go big if you want to. In real life, all the fields are grasslands, but I have added standard crops to the fields. Areas with lots of buildings have been turned into sell points and production points. The area south of the main river is fictional, inspired by real-life areas and a combination of other FS maps. There you'll find a train which runs past the pig farm where you can sell all crops that can be used to make pig food. I've also added big open square field which is almost flat for those that like to use fields that work perfect with hired helpers and or want to create large vineyards. Next to that field, I've created a placeable area where you can easily build and place things that I haven't added to the map. This map includes a main road, smaller public roads, and farm tracks, water and rivers that you can fill water tankers, several farms with animal pastures, silos, and workshops, 55 plots of land to buy. A whole map is plot 1, and it is not buyable. 84 fields with missions and that are both arable and grass, 4 forestry plots, more than 10 sell points to take different products, train which can be used for selling pig food and crops, several placeable production points, a BGA with bunker silos, sawmill, 100 collectible cheese wedges, and 4 watchtowers located for some good views. This map is recommending the use of more animal husbandries if you are on PC, because let me just tell you, this map includes a ton of animal areas pre-placed. If you want to place additional animal areas, you will need to use the More Animal Husbandries mod, and that is available for PC players only. This map does have one required mod in the buildings of Norway. Let's go ahead and load on into the map. We are going to use the mods we typically use when we take a look at maps, as additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. And in addition to that, we have the Buildings of Norway, which is listed as a required mod. I will tell you, if you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, you will find that the main farm is built out exactly how you see it here in New Farmer mode. In addition, you do have vehicles in those alternate play modes. The only exception is you do not actually own any land in those alternate play modes at the start. Now, when we first load in here, we actually load in up on top of our farm, kind of on a hillside. And I have to say, this map is very, very unique. I really have enjoyed taking a look at this map when I took a look at it earlier before I started recording this video. Lots of unique aspects of this map. And I have to say, we're going to see a little bit. This map is utterly epic with the amount of things that are on the PDA if you actually buy the farmland. And we're just taking a little quick stroll down this hillside to get to our main farm. Which we have right here. And then we'll go ahead and dive on into the map video proper. So let's go ahead and pull the PDA up. So we start up here in this general vicinity. We go ahead and take a look at the lands area. You'll see we start up by owning farmland 10, which is the starting farmland. That can be bought for $482,000 and includes 34 acres of land. Now, everything is buyable on this map. And I have to tell you, there are a ton of things going on. I think I counted at least 17, if not 19 animal pins pre-placed on the map. And I did not even attempt to count the number of farmhouses that are available on this map, because here in a little bit, we're going to buy the entirety of the map. And it is going to be almost completely covered by hotspots. So I want to show you what this looks like as far as hotspots before we go and buy a ton of land. And then I'll show you this map with hotspots after we buy this land. And it is just utterly epic. So we do have all of our standard crops available to us in the Farm Sim 22 available on this particular map. And if we go ahead and take a look at our lands area, or sorry, our farmland lease screen, you'll see we own farmland 10, includes fields 10, 17, 21, 73, and 74, and is 13.79 hectares in size. If we go ahead and scroll through the rest of the buyable farmlands, you see where those land as far as the number of fields and fields that are included, how much that farmland is going to cost, how large that farmland is. And then if we take a look at our field calculator screen, we're going to see specifically how big each field is. Then we can go back and cross-reference that with our farmland lease screen to then see which farmland we need to buy in order to own any one particular field. Let's go ahead and take a look at our precision farming soil map. This map is making use of the precision farming generic soil map that is a part of the precision farming mod. And as you can see, we have quite the varied soil types. To the north, we've got a fair bit of loam and silty clay, also to the west and east, and as well as south of the main area. Our starting field 10, 17, 73, 21, it is a combination of loamy sand, sandy loam, and silty clay. Taking a look at our crop counter, we do have the standard base game crop counter available to us on this particular map. And if we take a look at our prices screen, you will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell all of our base game crops that are available to us in Farm Sim 22. We also have the ability to sell our eggs, wool, and milk, as well as our silage, hay, straw, and grass. As we move further down the list and into our productions, we also have the ability to sell all of the base game production items that are available to us on Farm Sim 22. We do also have the ability to buy bulk lime, as well as we have a stone crusher pre-placed on the map. As far as our platinum expansion options, we do have the ability to sell select platinum expansion production items over at the Joker sell point. Then there are other platinum expansion items that we do not have the ability to sell at the start. If you are playing with pumps and hoses, you will need to put down your own sell point or make use of separated manure by applying it to your fields. Taking a look at our vehicle overview screen, we do start out with a decent list of starting equipment, and all of it is owned. None of it is leased. Taking a look at our animal pen, we have a old sheep barn at the start if we do not own any other land other than the starting farmland. We're soon going to buy all of the other farmland, and then you will see an extensive list of animal areas that are available on the map. We do have contracts available, and we also have production chains. In fact, the map has 20 production chains pre-placed. We own one production chain at the start, and that is a silage silo that's going to take grass and produce silage from our old sheep barn. We do have 100 collectibles available on the map, and as the description said, those are going to be cheese wedges. Taking a look at our starting fleet, we start out with the New Holland T6 175 small tractor, as well as the Massey Ferguson 5S 105. We have the Fendt 724 Vario medium tractor. We have the Nova 330 harvester that is paired up with the PowerStream 500 grain header. And then we also have the Nardi N40B header trailer. We have the half pipe HP 20 trailer. We have the DTX 300 AR subsoiler, the Nordstein HK25 NS 3030 seeder and power harrow combination. We have the ZATS 3200 fertilized spreader, the 4140L mower. We have the Alpine Hit 4.4H tedder. the Semez Z2 840H windrower. We have the Boss Alpine 251 forage wagon, the Q3M front loader arms, and for the front loader arms, we have a pallet fork and universal bucket. Then we round it all out with a 650 kilogram front weight. Now, taking a look at our mods and DLC screen, you will see that we do not have any custom vehicles or implements that are part of the map. Taking a look at the farm itself, we do have our farmhouse here with a sleep trigger. Then we have our sheep barn. This is also going to be the sheep barn with the silage production. So we can hold 200 sheep in this particular facility. We have a small fuel silo. And around the side, we have access into the barn. And inside here, we do have our silage production. So we have our dump point and fill point here. We'll need to activate the button and show the conveyor to unload into the fermenting silo. And then we have our activation icon over here in the corner. The rest is going to be just the equipment storage. This will be the food trough for the sheep. And then our wool is going to spawn around the corner here at the bottom. And that, boys and girls, is actually the main farm. As far as buildings that we can sell a farmhouse. We can sell the sheep pen if it is empty. And further up by the river, we do have some greenhouses that we own. Or not greenhouses, but some beehives that we own. That is on owned land. And we have a beehive spawn point as well. Now let me go ahead and buy all of the buyable farmlands. And then we're going to see how much different this PDA is once we buy all of the farmlands. What happened? Well, I bought all the farmlands and now there are a whole heap load of hotspots available. I'm pretty much thinking that if there is a house on this map, it is a farmhouse that can be bought and can be used as your farmhouse. Because there's a whole heap load of farmhouses already on the map. We also have a ton of animal areas now. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look. Here we have our old sheep barn, the one with the sheep, but we've got a cow barn, another cow barn, third cow barn. We have then another sheep barn, a couple chicken pastures and coops. We have a cow barn, a sheep barn, a couple pigsties, some more cows, some more sheep, and then a couple horse pastures and horse barns down here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 animal areas pre-placed. If you're playing on console, I think you're pretty much stuck unless you buy a bunch of farmlands and sell these animal areas without being able to put down additional animal areas. If you're on PC, we do have the More Animal Husbandries mod that will allow you to place up to 64 animal pens, and therefore you'll be able to pick up and place your 20th and move on from there should you really so wish. Let's also go ahead and buy all of the contracts and or all of the production points, and I'll show you what we got going on here. We have a fairly standard biogas plant for Farm Sim 22 on the map. We have 3 sheep barns that are also going to produce silage by taking grass and converting that into silage. We have a base game sawmill. It's going to take wood and make planks and wood chips. We have a custom grain mill that is going to be able to make flour from wheat, barley, oat, and sorghums. Be able to make canola oil, olive oil, and sunflower oil. We can take our grapes and further process those into grape juice and raisins. We have sugar beet and sugar beet cut into sugar. We have the ability to take our cereal, make our cereal factory here. Then we also have soybean butter and soybean cheese. So first for me, but okay. Then we have our bread and cakes down at the bakery. We have conventional milk to butter and milk to cheese in our cheese area, as well as milk and sugar into chocolate. We have a standard sugar factory as well as a standard dairy for the map. We have our spinnery to take wool and cotton into fabric. We then take our fabric into the tailor shop to convert that into clothing. We've got a fairly standard carpentry shop that's going to take wood or planks, convert that into furniture and wood chips. Our cereal factory is there. We also have an independent oil mill on top of the grain mill. We have our third sheep barn of silage. We've got 4 large greenhouses also, and that's going to round out the production. 20 production items pre-placed on the map. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of altitude and just do a little bit of a spin around and just take a look at the sites that is Rosendal. I have to say, this is a very, very beautiful map. Very unique lay of the land. And we've seen other Norwegian maps, but nothing that has really encompassed something like this. I think other Norwegian maps that we've seen have been a combination of either forestry or forestry and farmland. This is clearly primarily farmland with a little patchy forest spread in between, but most of the forest is going to be our distance scenery. Remember, we went ahead and bought all of the farmlands down, so we see a ton of different hotspots, and the majority of those hotspots are farmhouses. And it's kind of an interesting and unique setup that we have going here with respect to how there are so many farmhouses available. We also have several animal pens. We're going to attempt to hit all of the animal pens and sell points during the drive around portion of the video. We're 100% not going to visit every single farmhouse, or we would literally be here all day. I do kind of like the idea that if there's a house on the map, it potentially could be your farmhouse. So it's kind of an interesting and unique concept. So here we are coming over here on the western edge of the map, kind of a very narrow portion. And then there's this big section kind of past the tree line that is unfinished. Maybe we'll see further expansion into that area on the other side of the hill at a later date. One of our large cow bins or cow barns are directly below here. And then the land will just drop away as it goes down to the river valley. And then comes back up here, over here to the east. Where again, we have several farmhouses that we can make use of once we own the land. And now we're basically at the high point of the map. And the ground just kind of falls away from here as we get further and further down to the south. Lots of animal pens up here, lots of farmhouses. Again, we're going to try to go through all of those in much more detail on the drive around. Here we have our chocolate factory. So with respect to our scoring system, we are going to be giving the map a full point with respect to production being built in, because we do have 20 production items pre-placed on the map, and there is areas set aside for the additional placement of additional production areas should you so wish. In fact, we're about to come up over onto that. This is down here at the kind of the flatter area of the map. We've got our pig areas. We've got the big rectangular flat field. Then we have this large flat area right beside that the train progresses through, that we can use to place productions or whatever else we might want to put down here. More productions, more sell points kind of down here in town. We have a BGA, and we can sell the BGA proper. We can sell the sheds that are here at the BGA. We can even sell the scale. But what we can't sell, oddly enough, are the 3 pull-through bunkers. We cannot sell those. So if you do buy the BGA and you do want to kind of make your own BGA, you will be working around these 3 silage bunkers. I did not have the option of selling those. We have our cheese factory located right here. Our tailor, our spinnery, and such. And now our vehicle shop is down here by the water. Here we go. Here is our vehicle shop. So we have our customization trigger, our dealer trigger, and our dealer marker located right there. We have our dealer shop located inside the building. And let's go ahead and get our Mahindra and start driving around. We have a workable, usable forklift down here also. You can see we have a very decent sized area here for our machinery to spawn in at. Now, while the description said we're likely going to want to use high horsepower machines and small implements, given the rough terrain, the hilly terrain, and the narrow lanes, we do have quite the spawn point here for those vehicles to spawn in at. We also, down at the shop, have a fuel trigger here as well. So let's just take a look at the PDA and kind of refamiliarize ourselves with where we are. We are located right here, and as we zoom out, well, you're going to see the overabundance of farmhouses that we have down here. I mean, it is crazy. Absolutely crazy the number of possible farmhouses. So we're going to kind of have to try to kind of ignore those. Maybe turn those off, right? And then we'll be able to focus in on more on the sell points, the production areas, and the animal areas for the rest of this video. So across the street from our shop, we have a farm silo. So we have our dump point and our fill point here. And you really can see the narrow roads that we've got to deal with, the narrow access into these areas. And I think what we need to do is let's turn around and hit more of the stuff down here kind of towards the river's edge. Try not to be distracted with all of these farmhouses that we see visually. Here we have the Joker sell point. Remember, this is going to be set up for most of our production items and a lot of our other crops. Going to be able to be sold here at the Joker, which is kind of like a grocery store, if I am remembering correctly. Lots of traffic too. Lots of traffic. You might want to turn traffic off, given the narrowness of the roads. Here we have a restaurant sell point. And then what we have up here is going to be a hayloft. So we have the hayloft dump point up here on the ramp. My Mahindra's already a little exhausted from the prospects of navigating this map's roads. And then we have our output pipe down here. Again, all these other buildings that have icons, those are all farmhouses that we are just going to be passing by because we really don't need to be getting into those. Right up here we have an animal pen. This is likely going to be a cow barn. 60 cows in this building. We have a slurry point. We have a food dump point. I'm not really sure why these icons are so high, but okay. Now a lot of these buildings are going to be from the Buildings of Norway pack. And as such, we're not going to see the cows roaming around. Inside of here, we have the food drop. And most likely the straw drop also. Let's go ahead and make our way over here. We have a horse area, 5 horses. And then we have the water trough, food trough, right there. This is likely a viable horse barn with maintenance trigger. Now let me see if I can make my way up here to what's between 78 and 79. I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of run over there. It's going to be another animal building, I believe. Yep, we have then another cow area. 80 cows. In here we have our slurry point. We have our dump point for our food. We have a pickup point for our milk. We have lots of viable storage also around here. And we'll make our way now kind of down here by field 84, down by the river's edge. Uh-oh. I've been fenced in. Let me out. Let me out of here. With respect to our scoring system, As I said, we are going to give the map a full point with respect to production being built in or areas set aside for such. Also going to be giving the map a full point with respect to the ability to sell all of our base game products, crops, and animal outputs. And in addition, we do have the ability to sell some of the select platinum expansion items as well. Now, while we do not add or deduct points for platinum expansion selling, we do denote that by putting the platinum expansion logo up on the thumbnail. The farms being customizable, we're going to go ahead and say yes to that. I'll be honest, I have not tried to sell every single animal pen that is pre-placed on the map, but in my experience with the base farm, I was successful in doing that. So here we have our bakery, we have our dump point, we have our interactive icon, we do not really know where our pallet spawn point is for the bakery, and I believe what we have here is not only production, but also a bakery sell point here as well. Not a road. And then check this out. What the hey do we have down here? We have bale and pallet storage. What? 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 I don't know why we have bale and pallet storage down here. Housing a boat. Okay. Okay. Interesting design choice. Buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique. I did take a look at most of these buildings. I feel most of these buildings that I took a look at are using the new texturing technique. So we're going to go ahead and give the map a full point there as well. But we will be taking some points off ultimately with respect to player to interactive areas being clearly marked, because we've already run across one production item where we feel that we don't have the greatest markings. So the final score is really going to be based upon how many of those type of mysterious production areas we come across. So back down here through town, we have our vehicle shop, fuel point. More farmhouses. Farmhouses galore over here. So we have our cereal factory, dump point, interactive icon, and pallet spawn point all on this side. We have our carpentry, interactive icon, pallet, wood, sell point, all of that fun jazz. We have what appears to be maybe more bale storage. Yep. And then... oh, look. Cheese. Who's been dropping all their cheeses? Alright, we're not going to get any more. We have a log sell point and a wood sell trigger here. This is going to be our sawmill down here. And I'm looking with respect to where our pallets might spawn at. And I'm not necessarily seeing that clearly here. We have our wood chip point over here. And we've got some pallet spawn or pallet storage buildings. I'm almost wondering if pallets are going to spawn like on the storage, so they just get stored immediately. We're not seeing anything really clearly marked other than the storage shed kind of drop-off points. We then have another sell point down here at the water's edge. There we have our biomass heating plant, wood and wood chips, and our wood cell trigger. We have some sell points over here. We have a farmer's market. Over here to our left. Then have another grocery over here to our left. Really narrow getting in around the back here. Another restaurant sell point. Again, really narrow coming around the back. Mama Joe's Diner. Again, around the back. No pull through there. We're going to have to come back around. Down here we have another horse area. We have our food trough. For delivery point, 8 horses in this building. Then we have a riding area also down here. Make our way over the river. Got a few points of interest over here. So down here by the railroad tracks, we have a train transfer silo. So here we're going to be transferring product to and from the train. We also have a rent train icon there. We have our dump point and our fill point. So we can dump product here from a trailer, then put it into the train. We can store it here, then we can pull it out of the silo or out of storage. And we can add it to the train and pull it out of the train here as well. Speaking of the train, there it goes. Little surprised they didn't make use of the European train model here. Watch out for the boulders. We'll make our way up the hill through the forest. To the next point of interest. Yeah, this map is just utterly epic. With what is included and how you need to get to all of these areas. Just so unique. We have another large cow building. 200 cows. I like this building with the kind of the stone side there. So we have our slurry point. We have a food point We have our milk trigger there. I just want to see if we can cheat a little bit. Save a little time. We can indeed. So we have our pigs over here to our right. Now, the map description made reference to pig food down here. So, 270 pigs in this building. Then we have our pig food point. Pigs. We have our slurry point. Another base game pig area over here. Different color. Another 270 pigs. We have our food. We have storage. And more barn storage inside of here. So we have 2 pig areas, and then we have a train sell point at the pig area. We have our rent train icon down here as well. So I'm not seeing a place to make pig food, just apparently a place to be able to sell the pig food at the pig farm, or use obviously the pig food down here at this pig area. And then we have this large flat field over here to the left, under the bridge, and then on the other side of this row of houses, all of which are farmhouses, by the way. We then have this large area that we can use and buy and basically make placeables down here, make our own little industrial park down here. Or if we just don't like where the BGA is, we could go and buy this and put our own BGA down here as well. This would be an interesting map for multiplayer. We have an abundance of animal areas. We have an abundance of farmhouses. Decent amount of fields. It would be a multiplayer farm that had to operate, had some rules to operate with, you know, smaller equipment and such. Maybe starting lower money amounts. I think it'd make a unique multiplayer experience. Let's make our way across the river here and maybe address the western side of the map. And then we'll come back and kind of finish from there. So here we have, this is probably going to be the grain mill. It has all that custom production going on. We have our dump point. We do have this the grain mill. And then we've seen this on some other Norwegian style maps where the pallet spawn point is around the side here. And is underneath. Inside of here. Now it's not marked here, but this is typically where those pallets are going to spawn in. And then these, they appear to be decorative. Sometimes there's useful things here on some other maps. Doesn't look like they're that useful here for this one. Let's progress on up the road. Way over here to the chocolate facility. This is the big chocolate facility from Erlengrot. We got familiar with it in FS19. This maze returned in FS22. And then inside here we have our dump point, interactive icon, and a pallet spawn point. And the key item, you may have found something else in there worth collecting. Maybe. Make our way back here to the road. And then we'll branch off the other direction. So we're going to have another hayloft up here. With the dump point up the ramp. And then the output pipe on the side. I think I'll just jump over here real fast. Here we have another one of the sheep production barns. So we have our silage input, output there. Interactive around the corner. We have our food dump for our sheep inside of here. We have our sheep buy point, delivery point, 200 sheep. Then we have our wool spawn point. Workshop trigger up there in the barn. Now, something we didn't look at earlier is the ground textures. I think we have some interesting paintable ground textures going on here. We definitely have some interesting ground texture on this grass field. Didn't look like if we could necessarily paint that down, though. Of course, in build mode, we're going to have a ton of placeable farm houses, as well as other animal pens. All of these animal pens that we have on the map, we should be able to place because they're all coming from that Buildings of Norway pack. Got another cow barn here. We have our slurry point. 80 cows in this one. For a food dump. Our milk point. And our slurry was there on the side here as well. I want to see... Yep. We can make our way down here. We're just going to run down here because we have another animal area, I believe. So another sheep pen. 200 sheep. We have our sheep drop off. We have our food point. And then this is going to be where we have wool spawning inside of here. Again, we've seen this on other Norwegian style maps. So we're getting a little bit more familiar with where these things are. Let's keep our making our way up the hill. I think we're going to be able to cross the river, or across the creek, stream, whatever you want to call it here. Man, oh, look at that. I mean, really amazing views. Just download this map and drive around. Right, you don't even have to play Farm Sim. You can just download the map and drive around. Completely lost over here. This is where we need to go. So another one of the sheep silo productions. There we are. Still 200 sheep. With our wool right there. Now, I don't think we can make our way across the main river from this point. We're going to have to go all the way down to find a bridge. So let's wind our way back down and get across the river that really separates these two hilly areas. Maybe we'll do an in-cab driving coming down here. Get a little first-person perspective. What are your all's thoughts on maps like this? I'd love to hear them down in the comments below. Is this a map you're interested in playing? Maybe I'll kind of give you a little change of pace, a little alternate style to your life. This will be interesting with respect to what's coming up in Phase 2, or Part 2 of the Year 2 Season Pass. All we know is we've got a graphic where we've got mountains in the background. We have some grass in the foreground. Reminds me a lot of Rosendal. Hilly, mountainy area with grass. So whatever's coming in Phase 2 of the Year 2 Season Pass may line up perfectly with gameplay on this type of a map. That would be really ironic if that was indeed the case. So we have a sell point. We have another. Lots of bale and pallet storage available on the map. He has gone to town with putting that down. So we have bale sell point. We have that sell point. We then have bale and pallet storage. We've got our cheese production coming up. We have our BGA over here to the left. Kind of already talked about that. So we have our dump point for our cheese and such. We have our pallet spawn point for interactive icon. And somewhere around here we have the cheese pedestal. The monument of cheese. That as we find cheese wedges, it populates in. So we have our spinnery. Base game spinnery. We have then more bale and pallet storage. We have our tailor. Base game tailor operations. We'll make our way over here. We have, guess what? Another animal area. So we have our milk point. This is going to be another cow area. We have our animal buy point. We have our dump point. We have our slurry point. More storage. And the like. There's our BGA. And we've already hit things through town there, I feel like. We're getting real close to our starting farm. Got our oil mill over there. Oh no, a dead end? Oh. Dead end. Oh, thankfully not anymore. We have another horse area. 14 horses. Then we have our dump point, food dump point. We have 4 large greenhouses down here. These are base game greenhouses, fairly standard operations. We have our oil mill, standard FS22 oil mill, standard FS22 dairy. Then we have our standard FS22 sugar mill. Should be just about wrapping things up. Now this, I really was impressed with this church layout. I don't know why it impressed me, but I just like this curved parking area. Overlooking the water, overlooking the mountains, clear view. You've got this church here. It's just so much to look at. So much to enjoy visually. Guess what we got here? Another animal pen. So this is going to be sheep. We have our pallet spawn point up there. For our food drop, we have our sheep pickup point. 200 sheep. Let's go and see where we are with respect to our animals. We bought a whole bunch. So we've got a cow barn. We got some chicken coops we still need to hit. And another horse pasture. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Windy roads for sure. The description did not sell itself short with that. So we have another bale sell point over here to the right. More pallet storage over here to the left, but why? Why do we have things inside of these? Why? We have our sell point there. We have another animal pen. This is going to be a large cow building. I think this might be the last cow building we need to look at. 200 cows. We have our food dump. We have our milk trigger there. Flurry around the side. We have another hayloft. Our dump point, and then our fill pipe. We have one of the chicken coops located right here. 30 chickens. We have our egg point. We have our food point. And I think that I've got one chicken coop and a horse pasture, which we have not hit. That's going to be over here to the left. And the horse pasture, possibly far over here. No, we hit that one. We may just have to give up on the horses. Because I'm not seeing it. It may be imposed on top of some other icon. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, so we've got our food, we've got our water, we have our horses. And that one that we missed is right here, right around field 23. right by this cow barn that we did hit. Let's go ahead and then hit this chicken coop. So we have our egg point. We have our buy point for our chickens. 360 chickens. One for every day of the year, minus a work week. And then we have our food drop. Now, I've been thinking about what we're going to do as far as our score with respect to player interactive areas being clearly marked. We've got a few areas that are not so clearly marked, but there is just so many triggers here. So I think we're going to be gracious and dignified and give this map 3/4 of a point with respect to player interactive areas being clearly marked. Give this map a 4.75 out of 5. It is an absolutely gorgeous and stunning map. Download it just to drive around, just to experience this. I mean, it is so unique of a map. It's worth a download. It's worth a look-see. It's worth rating in the Giants Mod Hub. Don't forget to download mods, rate them in the Giants Mod Hub. You go to the in-game downloadable content menu, go to your install mods, toggle through all those, give them ratings. It helps out the modders significantly with respect to, one, knowing what people are interested in, and two, it helps them with respect to their monetization, because Giants does provide monetization to people that do download or do publish maps on the Giants Mod Hub. So there we have our pedestal of cheese. I guess we have to get certain cheeses will show up there. Let me know, guys, what you all think down in the comments below. And until next time, happy farming.